Okay,
It was enough for you.
it was more than
So I
enough.
think you don't want to teach English anymore with.
Not with you. Hey, dummies, welcome to another episode of English Lesson Live. I'm your host, Brian, and I'm here with my good friend, Federico. Federico, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, hi, I'm Federico. I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I am 22 years old.
Buenos Aires, it's winter. I see you're all bundled up, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big city with a lot of mixed cultures, and that's great.
Hmm? A lot of
Yeah.
former like fascist Italian war criminals.
No, well,
Huh? Just
yeah,
just a
no, I
few.
won't say. Yeah, a few, yeah. You should look like behind yourself when you walk in the streets
Uh
because
huh.
someone can pop up and I don't know, stole your things or your phone or.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like the TV show Buenos Aires as like a very dangerous place, but it's not like that.
I've never
It's
been,
not.
but I would love to
Yeah,
visit.
yeah. You
Maybe.
should.
Uh,
You should.
but ugh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it. Uh, so what do you do in Buenos Aires?
So I'm a software engineering student,
Hmm.
and yeah, I'm on my second year. So I'm so happy for studying that, and I am also studying English.
All right. Well, I can see just from that introduction, we need to do a lot of studying English.
Well, yeah, a lot of.
Uh, there it is again. All right, let's see if we can get through this today. I'm going to try my best. And today is a very special episode of English Lesson Live. We will be doing a segment that I hope to continue in the future that I like to call Uncomfortable Questions. And I have a list right here. So, Federico, what's the worst thing about you? I'm going to put the question
Okay,
here.
so
What's the worst thing about you?
okay, so I would say that the worst thing about myself is that um I would say my insecurities are like trying to understand some thoughts that I have or some things that I have in my mind that I can't figure out, but they are like sometimes negative things. And yeah, I think that's sometimes I am my own enemy, my like my bigger enemy is me also. I would say that, yeah, just
Okay.
just that.
Well, we've got a lot to unpack here. But the good news is you didn't make too many mistakes here. The bad news is you might need to see somebody about that. The worst thing about myself is that I would say my insecurities or trying to understand some thoughts that I have. This part, like, the grammar's correct, but I don't really know what you're talking about. Or some things that I have in my mind that I can't figure out. Okay, starting to make a little more sense. They are sometimes negative things. Sometimes I am my own enemy. Well, this is kind of a fixed expression. We want to change it a little bit. We want to say sometimes I am my own worst enemy, just because this is a fixed expression. I'm gonna put this here, and we can add these fixed expressions to our daily conversation. I am my own worst enemy, or to be one's own worst enemy. You are your own worst enemy. But now you've got another mistake here. You said my bigger enemy is me. But now you're using this comparative form of our adjectives. We've got positive, comparative, superlative form, big, bigger, biggest. dumb, dumb, or dumbest. Like this conversation. So what should we be using here instead? Not my bigger enemy is me.
So my big enemy. My biggest.
Biggest. We want superlative here. My biggest enemy is me. Probably better to say my biggest enemy is myself.
Okay.
And there's a rule about this, when to use what's called the objective form of the pronoun, like me, or the reflexive form of the pronoun, myself. When do you use the objective form, and when do you use the reflexive form? This is a good topic for us to talk about.
The objective is mine, and the
mine is possessive.
Possessive.
And so when we talk about objective and reflexive pronouns, so we've got our subjective, or are also called nominative. Make a little chart here. We've got our nominative, or our subject pronouns. We've got our object or objective pronouns, and we have our reflexive. We're going to leave off possessive because we don't need it right now. So I, me, myself, you. It's going to be the objective.
Yours.
Not yours, just you, or you. It's you.
Okay.
And yourself, and
yourself.
He.
Him.
He, him, and
his. No.
No.
I don't know.
Himself. Come on, man. Follow the pattern. Follow the pattern.
Okay.
One more. If you don't get this, we're done, man. We.
Them.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Us. And
ourselves. No.
Ourselves. There's more to it. So, they, them, themselves. She, her, herself. We're gonna leave them out right now, because I'm sure everyone at home can follow along. I'm gonna ask you to try to keep up with this. So, when to use that objective pronoun and when to use the reflexive pronoun. We're going to use the objective pronoun when the subject and the object are different people. We're going to use the reflexive pronoun when the subject and the objects are the same person. So, for example, I see you, you see me. We've got subject, object, subject, object. But when we have I see myself, we wouldn't say I see me, say I see myself, because the subject and the object are the same person. So you would say you see
yourself.
And we see, if we want to make it the reflexive, it's going to be what?
Ourselves.
Ourselves, right. So that's where we're going to use this. Now, in this sentence, my biggest enemy is myself. Well, this myself, it's not technically an object here. It's a complement, because this is not a transitive verb. It's called a linking verb or a copular verb. It's just saying that this thing and this thing are the same thing. But in which case, we're going to use the reflexive pronoun. It's not necessarily wrong to say my biggest enemy is me. I wouldn't say that it's wrong, but it doesn't sound so good. On to the next topic here. We'll see if this is going to be any better. How would you rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 in terms of attractiveness?
So I understand that attractiveness, it depends on the person.
Yeah, but we're talking about you, so don't try to change the topic.
But you mean, yeah, but you mean like physical appearance
Yes.
or oh, okay. So I would
Yeah, I'm sure you have
say
a heart of gold. I'm sure you're very smart and beautiful on the inside. But we're talking about physical features here. Attractiveness. Where are you from 1 to
okay.
10?
So I would say a 6.
Okay, a 6. But now justify this 6. I want you to justify your response.
So I think that I don't like so much my nose, and my face is not like so symmetric, and I don't like my ears because they are tiny. Um, yeah,
We're dropping.
and
So we've lost a couple points here though. You sure you still at a 6 with all these problems?
yeah,
Okay. We'll,
yeah,
we'll,
I
we'll,
think that.
we'll put you at a 6. You know what? I'd give you a solid 7.5.
Okay.
But let's look a little closer here. I think that I don't like so much my nose. So this so much here. This is it's an adverb phrase, but it's not really in the right position here. We want to move this to a different part of the sentence because it's just it's not specifically wrong here, but it's really not natural. Where to move it to?
Like after my nose.
Right. We're gonna want to move it to right here. I don't like my nose so much. And my face is not so symmetric. Not symmetric. I'm going to change this adjective a little bit.
So
I actually want to add 2 letters to the end of the word.
symmetrical. No,
Symmetrical, right.
symmetrical. Okay.
I don't like my ears because they're tiny. Fair enough. Moving on. Uh, what are you most ashamed of?
Oh, that's a hard question to answer. I would say that, yeah. Wait, I'm thinking. It's hard, this one. Let me think just a few.
I'm just trying to keep up with you, man.
Whatever.
It is a tough one.
Mm,
But you think about that in the meantime because we've got some good grammar here. Now, people who know me know that I love a good dependent preposition. And what I mean by dependent prepositions are these prepositions that are attached to their kind of head words. It could be to a noun, to an adjective, to a verb, to a past participle. In this case, ashamed of. We see this often with listen to something. You never just say listen music. You say listen to music. And you don't say I am ashamed kill my dog. I'm ashamed of killing my dog, or I'm ashamed of having killed my dog. Could have taken him to the vet, but you chose not to. So a lot of times the mistake people will make here is they might know this verb listen has dependent preposition too, but they'll ask the question, what are you listening? And that's just incorrect. It's got to be what are you listening to? And they might know that ashamed comes with of. I am ashamed of what I did. But they'll ask the question, what are you ashamed? And that's not correct. So don't forget, you need to know if the word has a dependent preposition, and if it does, you can never leave off that dependent preposition. So when asking the question, keep the preposition at the end of the word. Now you've had some time to think. I know it's tough, but what are you most ashamed of?
I would say that I am I'm ashamed of I don't know. I'm ashamed of I
I'm ashamed that I've kept this conversation going as long as I have now.
yeah. Yeah, wait. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how to answer this question. Sorry.
It's an uncomfortable
I,
question. That's the name of the game, my friends. Uh,
I don't know what to say because maybe it could be related to something that happened to me when I went to high school or to my in my university lessons
Could have been
or
something that
something.
you did when you were drunk,
Okay, so
maybe.
I will say something that
Yeah, here we go.
yeah, that happened to me like last week. I went to my friend's house, and it was my mother's friend's um, birthday, and they had like a table with a lot of cakes and things to eat. And I tried to like move the table, and like I then the cakes went directly to the floor, so it was like so embarrassing for me because there was a lot of people there. There were a lot of people like what staring at me like saying what did you do or something like that. But then it was fine. But that moment was awful because I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I want to disappear. Like, please, I need a whole, like, to disappear right now.
Well, that was a little more boring than I think I was hoping for. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. And I would love to hear in the comments section, what are you most ashamed of? So put that right down there in the comments. But this is good, and you've got some good grammar here. But there's a few things you can improve. You said I went to my friend's house, and it was my mother's friend's birthday, and they had a table with a lot of cakes. This word cake is not usually in countable form. It can be countable though. Probably would say a lot of cake, but cakes it's okay. A lot of cakes and things to eat. And I tried to move the table, and then the cakes went directly to the floor. We can get a better verb here.
Fell
That's the better
into.
verb. Yeah, so fell directly to the floor. Fall to the floor. This is good. You can also say maybe I knocked the cakes on the floor. I'm going to change it to cake because cake's just, I don't know, it sounds a little weird. I knocked the cake on the floor. What about this knock? You know this word?
Knocked.
Yeah, knock, knock,
No, it
knock.
sounds for me like you knock the door. Is the same verb?
Yeah, well,
No.
it's the same verb, sort of. But in that case, you would say knock on the door, like, hello, anyone home? But in this case, we're going to say knock something on the floor. It could also be onto the floor. You could say, I bumped into the table, and the cake plummeted to the ground. What about this word plummeted?
I didn't know. I don't know the meaning of that word, but it sounds like
It's my
the
subscriber
cake.
count right now. It's plummeting.
Yeah.
Plummet is just like fall. It's like fall straight down and fall fast.
Okay.
Got some good vocabulary in there. We're moving into our very last question of the day here. What was your last Google search?
Yeah, it was my last Google search was a video about some vocabulary of engaging activities to do during holidays. Yeah. because I had to prepare some article for my English lesson talking about some outdoor activities and I don't know, some things that I like to do when I am on vacation or when I don't know, travel or go on a trip
Wow.
and that kind of things. Yeah, boring.
Took the words right out of my mouth. That
Yeah.
sounds incredibly boring. But as you guys know, that is just not what we do here at English Lesson Live. Oh God, how many times have you guys answered questions about what you like to do on vacation? Like, do you like hobbies? I love hobbies. This is the
Yeah.
type of English lesson that I think the world has had enough of. If you agree that the world has had enough of talking about hobbies and vacation, please put some better suggestions down in the comments. I always read them and I am very happy to take your suggestions. And on that note, I think we're gonna have to call it a day. Do you know this expression?
Yeah, call it today,
To
to
call
call it
it
today.
a day, not 2 day. We're gonna call it
Ah,
a day.
wait, to call it a day.
What does it
Call it a
mean to
day.
call it a day?
Like to finish the session or
It means
to
to finish the session, to finish work. We're done. Dunzo. Finito. This has
Okay.
been. Oh yeah. Okay.
It was enough for you.
It was more than
So I
enough.
think you don't want to teach English anymore with
Not with you. This has been
yeah.
another episode of English Lesson Live. A big thank you to our friend Federico here for helping us along. If if you can think of anything else that you're ashamed of, please let me know because I would like some good material. I'm really reaching here. Federico, thank you for being here.
Okay, thanks you.